Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of Football GPS right here on CVM Television. Now, if you're following the local Jamaica Premier League, you will know that we are now at the business end. The top six have been decided, and within, I think it's the 21st, 22nd, we'll start the knockout. Now, Waterhouse, on the very final day, were challenging Montego Bay United to see which of the, well, when I said challenging Montego Bay United, these two teams were the teams fighting for that sixth spot. Waterhouse managed to get it courtesy of a 1-0 win against Harbourview, and have managed to squeeze themselves into the top six. Now, the Waterhouse coach is here in studio. We should be getting Mount Pleasant's, a representative from Mount Pleasant in just a while, because, of course, they finished on top of the league. But here with us is the man they call Fuzzy, and that's how we're going to call it today. How you do, Sir Fuzzy?
Good night, man. Thanks for having me, man. I'm good.
Finishing in the top six, that final day, you just needed to win because you had goal difference over Mobile. Were you a little bit nervous?
Not nervous, but more concerned. More concerned of, you know, the game entail. It's a must-win situation, as I said before. But, you know, to settle the nerve, I mean, we have some senior players and we have most young players.
Yes.
You know, and, you know, we're showing good steads coming up to that game. So, as a matter of how mentally we were.
Yeah. When you learned that it was Harbourview, because let's face it, and I said it last week, Harbourview has not had the best of seasons. While Mobile United were taking on a Tivoli team that was already in the top six. Were you confident going into that game on Sunday?
Yeah, we were pretty confident. I mean, all season we haven't won 3 games. You know, we haven't been consistent, and you know, for the last 3 games prior to the Harbourview game, we'd have won, and you know, and we have kept 2 clean sheets. So we were pretty confident.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
All right. So now we understand that we have Paul Christian line. Hi, Paul.
How you doing?
Yeah, man. I hear with.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I hear with Fuzzy. You never know. You might meet him in the semi-finals if both Mount Pleasant and Waterhouse advance. But how do you feel to be the team that finished on top of the league and earning yourself an automatic semi-final spot?
Well, the Mount Pleasant family is just happy to be a part of this prestigious Premier League, and we are doing the work. The technical team led by Mr. Theodore Whitmore and Mr. Davian Ferguson, they have been working assiduously to try to get the chemistry of the team right, and we are constantly trying to improve on the product that we have here in St. Ann, and we just want to bring good football to the people of Jamaica and St. Ann by extension.
Yes. Let me ask you this. Was it a priority of Mount Pleasant to finish on top of the league? Because some teams don't prioritize it. They feel that all they need to do is to be in the top 6. Was it a priority? Was it something that the team wanted to do to finish ahead in the league part of the competition?
Well, let me answer it by saying this. The technical team and the medical staff, as well as the physical staff, at the beginning of the team, we came to one conclusion: let us give it our best shot and live with the result. So if the result would have gotten us in the 2nd or 3rd position, we know the ultimate objective is to lift the trophy and enter into CONCACAF, and that is our ultimate objective. We are now in pole position as it relates to the regular season, but we are also aware that come starting April 22nd, none of that counts. None of that matters. Is you have to go out there and do it all over again on the pitch. So, yes, it's good to bypass the quarterfinals. However, come May 5th, we have to be ready. Whether it's Tivoli or Waterhouse, they are not going to give us any excuse, so we are not in the business of it.
All right. Fuzzy, laugh when you hear that. Does it bother you that you are the 6th place team? Because I remember in previous years, right in this very studio, where Waterhouse would have done brilliantly in the league standings and beat up everybody and then go to the final or the semi-finals and not deliver the goods. Does it make any difference to you that you had to squeeze into the top 6?
I'm trying to be careful what I say right now.
Because you know that Paul is this thing.
But it is what it is. You know, as I said before, rightly, previously, we have been to the top, And, you know, we've been to, I mean, in 6 years, we've been to 3 finals, and unfortunately, at the top, we come out to none. So we, you know, venturing at the back end of the season and finding form, I mean that must be a motivation and a good thing going forward for us.
Let me ask you this, Paul. Is it a good, because some teams feel that like they need the momentum. Missing the first set of semi-finals while Waterhouse will be active, while Tivoli will be active, you will be resting. Is that a good or a bad thing?
What the question you're really not to ask, you know, we are not prepared to go down that line. There is no excuse whatsoever. Whether we have to go through the playoff or through the semi-final, the ultimate objective is to get to the top of the trophy. And guess what? Technical staff, they are aware that they don't get to give excuse at this point of the season. We are aware of that. So if it means that we have to prepare for 3 games instead of 5 games, then that's what it is. And guess what? I can tell you that you have not seen the best football from Mount Pleasant as yet. So we are still trying to improve on the product. Yes, we are in number 1 position now. But as I said before, none of that matters. We have to do it all over again come starting May 5th. And that's what we are focused on.
All right. You will play Tivoli in the opening leg of the knockout. Your results against Tivoli this season, they beat you 3-0, they beat you 1-0. So they have gotten the better of you the 2 times you've met. How significant is that?
As I said, the state is clean.
Yeah.
It's a different day.
So they hold no psychological advantage?
There's no psychological advantage. We start out fresh and we start out different team. You know, what we have learned from those 2 games, it's humble us. And we must have shown respect to Tivoli. If we didn't before, now we know that Tivoli is a team to, you know, to take serious. So
right.
You know, we more focusing on, you know, what we need to do to get across the line.
All right. What will your team be doing, Paul, between now and May 5th, which is quite some distance away, while the other teams in the top 6 will be getting into action on April 22nd? What is the preparation plan like between now and May 5th for Mount Pleasant?
Well, we would have activated the medical and psychological staff. We have some niggling injuries that have been hovering around during the season. So we are trying to get our squad fully up and ready, fully available, and we are doing what is required without giving you a lot. But we understand the members of this technical and medical and coaching staff understand how to prepare, whether going through the playoff or going straight directly from. It's a different level of preparation going into the semi-final directly than when you prepare through the playoff round. However, as I've said to you before, Arvin, whether we go through the semi-finals or through the playoff, it's the ultimate. We would have made preparation for both scenarios.
Yes.
So scenario, in my opinion, it's the best view. We play 3 games. It's just simple.
Right.
3 games to win, you have a trophy to show. You can't get any simpler than that. So, as I said before, no excuse. Let's go and do it. The players are ready. The captain is ready. The technical team is ready. The ownership of the organization is ready. We are just in it now to get it across the line.
One last one for you, Paul Christie. You are the defending champions. You also finished first in the season after that. You are generally considered to be the deepest teams in terms of quality. In other words, people say it's a done deal. Mount Pleasant can't lose. Is that but it's so the whole of it thing, Paul. You are the defending champions. You finished top of the table by almost 5 points. You have the deepest squad. There are some people who say, let's give Mount Pleasant the trophy and call it George. What say you?
This is why we play the game. This is why we play the game. Because guess what? If you dare, and I can tell you, if Mount Pleasant dare disrespect this prestigious Jamaica Premier League by just showing up, they will get punched in the mouth. It is a guarantee they will get punched in the mouth. We will get punched in the mouth if we just show up. we are aware of, as a matter of fact, this playoff is brutal.
Yeah.
I had seen it coming from me before, or when it was shaping up. I can tell you, this playoff is brutal because you would have had Mount Pleasant, you would have had Waterhouse, Tivoli, Portmore, Arnett Gardens, and Mobile was hovering around along with Dundee. These are all teams that are all rounding into form. So guess what? Starting April 22, it's going to be brutal. So I know that at this point of the season, nothing can be taken for granted. I think we have to be prepared fully for all eventualities.
Yes. Let me ask you something, Fuzzy. Is the fact that you squeaked into the top 6, not the usual way where you dominate, is that something that could work to your favor?
It's a new day, a new beginning. So we see where it takes us. We see where it takes us.
You're not saying more than
that? No, we see where it takes us.
How do you prepare differently for the knockouts? Or do you prepare differently for the knockouts as how you prepare for the regular league? So yeah, today's what, the 9th? You have 13 days.
Yeah.
What happens over the next 13 days?
It's football have several different components.
Yes.
I think every component is important, but I do stress on the mental side of it and the psychological side of it. It's a knockout game. It's plain as that. It's win.
It's over 2 legs.
Yes.
So when it's a knockout game, I want the public to know that it's over 2 legs. So it's knockout games at this stage.
Right. So it's a win and go home.
Right.
And there's no advantage there. So the team who more prepare and the team who want it the most.
Yeah.
Because they can prepare and don't want it. So the team who want it the most and who hungry and who willing to go the extra mile for it.
Do your players want it?
They are sure. I see signs, and I see that. Thus far, if you look on our trajectory and if you look on our pathway, we have a rather. They say Waterhouse is the most inconsistent team this year, and the record shows for that.
No, the most inconsistent team in the top 6.
Right.
Because you have some team with Lima and
No, why I said that, because at the beginning at the end of the first round, we were about 9 or 8. So you have 2 teams in front of us that in the top 6. No, we're doing better than us.
Okay.
So we have seen the low.
Yes.
I know we start a little bit different from the low. So I guess
All right. Paul, Chris, the games will be at Savannah Park. One of the things that I've heard people saying is that the Mount Pleasant crowds are not as big as the Waterhouse crowds. I don't even know if nothing goes so anymore. That's probably
one thing I can tell you.
That's a narrative that you don't even know if it's true.
One thing I can tell you, that is yet to be seen. One thing I do know about the people of St. Anne, they love their football and they go where Mount Pleasant goes. And I can tell you this, Jamaica will be in for a treat and we will be supported by our passionate fans from St. Anne and rural Jamaica. You will have some fans coming as far as Montego Bay and Shillong, St. Mary.
I want to
supported Mount Pleasant, and we are hoping to deliver for them.
Yes. I want to say this to you, Paul. There are some people who feel Mount Pleasant out of class. Who are the richest club with an owner that knows no bounds when it comes to getting the best players and the top managers like yourself. And one school of thought is that the people who are unattached, the people who are neutrals, may just be cheering against Mount Pleasant for that very reason. We bad mind people when they have money in Jamaica. Is that a reality that you believe is true or not, Nogoso?
I don't know I've never thought of that because we are so busy trying to improve on what we have here. Because there are different levels, and Mr. Marcel Gale, my good friend Fuzzy, can tell you. Yes, you win here. We don't plan to stop here. We are trying to go into and prepare for CONCACAF so we can make good representation for Jamaica, land we love.
Yeah.
So it's not about just here alone. We are trying to prepare. That's why we try to learn from our defeats. We still try to learn and improve on our wins. And we are just trying to improve on the product. So we're trying to play good football while we do it. But the most important thing is to get the result, and that is we are in it to get that.
I have one more for you. There are people who said, "Uno cannot afford to lose the league." Paul, deepest pockets, defending champions, the best facilities in Jamaica for football around Mount Pleasant. I don't know if it's still called Stush in the Bush, or maybe that we should leave that name alone. But does that put any extra pressure on you, the fact that you have so much things going for you that it's almost an expectation that Mount Pleasant will win again? Any extra pressure because of that?
Well, I've heard that last season. I've heard that when I joined this family of Mount Pleasant, I've heard that last season. So it's becoming an old cliche now. What I do know is that I've never had a pressure day on the football. This is my passion. This is what I love. While people work from 9 to 5, we sleep from 5 to 9 because guess what? We just don't sleep. We try to improve on the product and try to learn. Even from my good friend, Mr. Marcel Gain, I've learned so much from him over the years. I was still trying to learn that we can.
All right. We have to leave it here.
But no pressure. Absolutely no pressure.
No pressure. Give me 10 seconds. What can the public expect from Waterhouse in the knockouts?
Good football. I mean, we have nothing to be ashamed about, and we have nothing to drop. I mean, we see it hard, so I've got there now from the beginning and finish the game.
And finish some game. All right, Paul Christie of Mount Pleasant. And of course, Fuzzy, big up yourself, my boss. Good luck. You're squeaking the player, but half of you do the same thing, squeaking, just make the top 6 and win the league. Who knows? I might hear here. All right. We'll take a break. We'll take our first break here on Football GPS. Much more when we come back after the break. Welcome back to Football GPS. Now, there's a new development over there in St. Catherine in the Major League Football Tournament. New Raiders Football Club, sponsored by Mackay Security, have been expelled from the competition. Now, the reason that is official is that they were using ineligible players, apparently because they weren't registered on the FIFA system. But here to tell us all about it, we hope to get Miss Elaine Walker-Brown from St. Catherine at some point. Is it Rodney McPherson?
That's correct.
Rodney McPherson, who is the team manager of New Raiders. Did I introduce it right?
Yes. In a nutshell, yes.
All right, tell us exactly what is the situation.
All right, prior to the season, all teams were encouraged to log on to and register the players on the FIFA Connect system. From the outset, we communicated to the FA that we were having some challenges, technical challenges, logging on, trying to request user roles, because that is what you do. You have to request a user role, and that has to be approved by the JFF, because the system is administered at the JFF. We had problems getting on. We requested user roles. They were always rejected.
What are user roles?
User roles.
I'm a neophyte when it comes to these things.
So the user roles is like the club secretary or the club registrar, and that is the person who is authorized to put players on the system.
Yes.
That is a process where you apply for the user role, you get an automated email saying if you will get back to you in 7 days. So on the 7th day, it might come back rejected. There was at least one point in time where that email didn't come for like 12 days. So the time frame that they gave us was to register on was being eaten into. Right. So eventually we had a meeting. They gave us a deadline. Up to the day of the deadline, when we got the approval, the day after it was rejected. And these are the things that the president of the St. Catherine FA was aware of, right? So we feel very aggrieved that the process that was there, and they're using it saying that you feel it ineligible players because they were not on the system. However, their rule book clearly states that you can register your players at the Secretariat or on the FIFA Connect. So we didn't, in our mind, we did not breach that rule if you take it to the full letter of the competition rules.
Right. What kind of time frame did you get to register these players on the FIFA system?
From the outset of the competition, from around February,
yeah,
until their final deadline was the March 19th. But even between that time, we were in constant communication with them, sending emails.
And were they aware that you had challenges?
I should think so, yes, because emails were sent outlining, showing them the rejection and things like that. There was the saying about the training that was offered, but then the issue was not a training issue, right? Because at the end of the day, how we got it sorted out is because we contacted somebody at JFF directly, and they realized that how we registered, not with a personal email address, but with the club's email address. So that is why it was being rejected.
Okay.
All right. So these are the things, going into a meeting, and the FA has been very confrontational towards us.
Meaning what?
Meaning, I'll give an example. Last year, when we were participating in the season.
Oh, no, you're talking not just this
not just this year.
You're saying that the St. Catherine FA has been confrontational to New Raiders football.
Yes, I don't want to say confront. I take that back.
Yeah.
Not as accommodating.
Why would that be? Before you even give examples, why would you think so?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There's things that have been bandied about. Why this dictatorial stance, especially by the president, is being taken, right? And as I said, I'd like to give you an example. Even when this particular case, when they sent a suspension letter and we said we're going to appeal it, a two-word letter, there are no grounds for appeal. When
a suspension letter for what?
For the earlier supposed breach of ineligible players, because they had said they had suspended doctors for 3 games, the points for 3 games, because we were unbeaten in the season, and we were definitely one of the front runners, right? So they said they docked us the first 3 games, and then gave us a deadline. But even up to then, we still tried.
Yeah. All right, we should be talking to Ms. Elaine Walker-Brown right after the break. So as it stands now, New Raiders are banned from the competition, from the Major League in St. Catherine.
From the competition.
And what steps can you take? Is there something that you can appeal as if you got the JFF involved?
We try to seek the intervention of the JFF. The JFF says that the parishes are a law unto themselves, so to speak.
Really?
So they can't interfere with the runnings of the parishes. However, even then, procedurally, even in the rule book, it is set out, the appeal procedure is set out. Even though we made an appeal, we were told that there are no grounds for appeal.
So as it is now, you don't feel that there's any recourse? You're just going to accept a ban?
Well, we're not just going to give up. And we're grateful for a program like this.
Yes.
For it to be articulated out there.
Yes.
So that the greater football fraternity knows the struggles that clubs have with some administrations as it comes to football.
All right, interesting. So we've heard from Mr. McPherson, the manager over there at New Raiders. He feels really hard on by that his club were banned from the Major League in St. Catherine. He says that they were having issues with registering on the FIFA system, the powers that be knew about it, and he feels it's really harsh. As always, we will get the other side. Stay tuned for the response from Ms. Elaine Walker-Brown there over at St. Catherine after the break. All right, welcome back to Football GPS. Now, you've heard the side of the New Raiders Football Club. They were banned from the St. Catherine Major League, and the charge is that they were using ineligible players because these players were not duly registered to the FIFA system. So we've heard their side. We want now to have a quick chat with Ms. Elaine Walker-Brown, who is the president of the St. Catherine FA. She joins us right now. Hi, Ms. Elaine Walker-Brown, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, ma'am. So you know why you're here. The New Raiders Football Club, they feel that they were wrongly treated. They feel aggrieved. They don't feel good at all. They feel that you're being a little bit too harsh. What say you? Hello? Oh, looks. All right, let's try to get Miss Elaine Walker-Brown back. Apparently some freezing in the communications, but we'd definitely like to hear what the explanation is from the St. Catherine FA. As they say, there are 2 sides to every story. We have already heard one side. Are you there now, Ms. Walker-Brown?
Yes, I'm hearing you clearly now.
All right, so I'm asking, you were hearing all I was saying?
Yes, I was watching the program, so I know what you're talking.
You know what the issues are. All right, so how does St. Catherine FA respond to what we are hearing?
Let me first thank you for this opportunity. And as I told Edley this afternoon, that I'll come on and explain what is happening. First and foremost, Mr. McPherson is a council member of the St. Catherine Football Association. So anything that the JFF implements, the first discussion we have is at council level. And in 2020, the JFS have introduced the FIFA Connect to Jamaica, not to St. Catherine, but to Jamaica. All right. The JFF has trained our administrators, have trained our clubs administrators to use the FIFA Connect. New Raiders has been on the FIFA Connect from October 2022. Last year in our Major League competition, you know that our clubs has to matriculate from Major League to Tier 2, and they must meet that requirement that they must be on the FIFA Connect. Last year in our quarterfinals, we have sent out communication in regards to the Major League that once you reach the quarterfinals, if you are not on the FIFA Connect, you will not be eligible to continue, because at the end of the day, if you reach the final and you are the winner of the competition and you are not on the FIFA Connect, you will not be eligible to go to Tier 2. That's where we started. Now, we have been having workshops for our clubs, workshop after workshop. And this year now, we decide now that starting the 4th of February, every major league, we start first that every major league clubs must be on the FIFA Connect. The antennas went out and some of them said they have problems. I drifted back to saying that the 4th round of the competition that will be in March, that everybody, so I give extended time. We were at a meeting only with major league clubs, and Raiders FC indicate, Mr. McPherson indicate that he's seen another name other than New Raiders. I said, okay, now I allow him this period to find out what is the problem, because this is what I do. I hold the clubs, and if they have no problem,
You're breaking up there, Miss Elaine Walker, bro.
Yes. I met with council, I called council, I talk about it with council in his presence, that the council member is not following the rules. And this is the only club. We have 36 clubs on FIFA Connect, and only one club has to go through the JFF. I had called a meeting with the executive of Mackay New Raiders, and I called twice for the president of Mackay New Raiders. Mm-hmm. We met on March the 6th, and Mr. McPherson came with a lady, and he said, she's the secretary. I said to him, where is the executive of New Raiders? Because I want them to know what is happening, because he's the only person that is representing New Raiders, and the club is in difficult times.
All right, I'll tell you what, Miss Walker Brown, we have maybe only a couple of minutes or so with this section. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm sure Mr. McPherson knows exactly what he would want me to ask you, and I can't know better than him what are the exact issues. I'll play the referee between you two for the next 2 minutes. Mr. McPherson, I'll allow you to ask Miss Elaine Walker Brown 2 questions. Miss Walker Brown, be as concise with your answers as you can, so that we can see if we could understand exactly where the issues are. The floor is yours.
One of the questions that I would love to ask the president is that, of all the emails that we sent to the FA outline, were any of them responded to? One, and other question is, there seems to be a level of disconnect between
the first.
All right, answer the first one about emails.
Yes. The first question you asked about the mails, yes, they were responded to. And most of the time, we did not communicate with the Connect, but in writing. We discussed it verbally.
All right. Any other question you'd love to ask?
And secondly, in terms of the procedure and the rules and the competition rules, because the competition, the rule book that you generally refer to, in speaking to the registration of the players, I'm sure that you got the document where you said there were no grounds for appeal. We found like 5 grounds for appeal of your decision, which wasn't, addressed, spoken to.
Okay, if you notice, Mr. McPherson, you have
Oh, Lord.
to the JFF, and I accommodate you, JFF, in this, and I see that it stands where the JFF also is concerned. So we have met with both Raiders, myself, and the JFF. I understand because you violate
we're not hearing you too well, Miss.
Players must be registered on that platform.
You're going in and out. We were losing a lot of the communication there. Could you just repeat that in 30 seconds, what you just said?
No, I'm saying that they have written to the JFF. The JFF has asked me to facilitate a meeting. We did, and the decision still stands. And it's not St. Catherine platform. It's Jamaica platform. All clubs and players must be registered on that platform to be eligible to play.
I'll give you the opportunity to ask one final question.
In terms of, you say all players, but we know that is not correct, factually correct, because a number of associations and a number of players that we transferred from, especially the CASAFA platform, were not registered. However, in terms of the procedural guidelines as it speaks to appeals, the rule in the rule book, whether the players should be registered at the secretariat or at the FA, was that followed? Were our players ineligible, right, in terms of the rule book that is referred to?
All right, that's your final question. Let me hear your final answer, Ms. Elaine Walker-Brown.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
All right, so that was Mr. McPherson's final question. We can't allow it anymore. What's your final response?
Okay,
Hello?
Is it breaking up?
All right, let me try one more time. Did you hear Mr. McPherson's question?
No, I didn't hear the last question. It was breaking up.
All right, you have 10 seconds to ask the question.
The question was, did we violate the rule book where it clearly states the players can be registered at the secretariat or on the FIFA Connect system? And secondly, in terms of the procedure when we appeal the suspension.
Let me answer the first question. There's two registration process. The office and the FIFA Connect. So it's both ways. You have to submit the transfers to the office, and then you make the request to the club that you are transferring the player, and we send those documents to the JFF. So it's a twofold registration process. The paper in the FA and approval from the JFF.
All right, clearly I don't think that we'll be able to solve the issue on Football GPS tonight. I think we've allowed both sides to be aired. The decision is yours. To be honest, I only heard about this fairly recently, so I haven't even come to any conclusion. We're going to have to leave it here, though. Ms. Elaine Walker-Brown, so there is no course of appeal. That's it. They'll have to come back next year. That's what you're saying. It's final.
It's final. It's final. That's why I ensure that we go to the JFF and the JFF here and see that we follow all the rules and regulations. And they are not on the Connect, they are not eligible to play.
Your final words, 30 seconds.
I'll say we're seriously aggrieved. The massive investment, also the disappointment of the players. We still believe that we have grounds for some appeal. Also, we asked, all right, let us, we're on, the majority of our players on it. No, let us play out the season and then make a decision after that. At that middle ground, that is hard and fast dictatorial style of leadership at St. Catherine is time in the football.
Ms. Elaine Walker-Brown, you want to respond to that very quickly?
The 27th of March, you start putting on your players on the FIFA Connect. All right. The 27th of March.
I'll leave it right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I really have to leave it. I wish this could continue till 9 o'clock because I love it. But we have some other things that we have to deal with, including I look at the EPL, Santos celebrating, I think, their 60th anniversary this year. We want to give them a little limelight as well. Thank you, Mr. McPherson, for coming in. Thank you, Ms. Elaine Walker-Brown. Continue to listen to Football GPS. We're coming back with a little bit more right after the break. Welcome back to Football GPS. Aviashima love. I'm really not going to say nothing more than that. Easily one of the top football analysts anyway in the Western Hemisphere. May I put him that far? Arsenal, City, Liverpool. 1 point separate 3 teams with 7 games to go. The floor is yours. What should we expect?
Well, I expect a lot more in terms of twists and turns in the title race. What stood out to me is that the number of home and away games. So
Yes.
7 games to go. Arsenal has 4 home games. City and Liverpool have 4 away games.
Yes.
That can play a big part. In terms of opponents, I think Arsenal has to go away at Tottenham and Manchester United. Those are 2 extremely difficult games. If you look on City go away to Brighton, Fulham and Tottenham.
Yeah.
Now, I think since Pep Guardiola has been in England, he has struggled at White Hart Lane. So that perhaps might be a game many Arsenal fans are looking towards in terms of losing points. But in terms of
Who has the easier
any
run
team,
of the 3?
I think City has the easiest run in.
Yes.
But that's on paper. We started in the Champions League, that can take a toll. So Liverpool also, Europa League, their travel is a lot longer as well when you play in the Europa League. So that can play a part.
Right.
And we know they've been struggling with injuries. But I think in terms of pedigree, in terms of experience, Manchester City, I think, it may be in the best position on paper.
Yeah. All right. Liverpool, not in the Champions League, but they're in the Europa League. I think they play Atalanta is when?
Thursday.
It's Thursday. If Liverpool, does the Champions League or the Europa League might take a toll on these 3 teams in their quest for the Premier League?
I think when you play games in general, and especially Liverpool, because the quality of the squad is not that
Let's
deep.
take a look at this. These are the top 3 next games for Liverpool. Talk to us quickly about this. Liverpool final 7 games.
So clearly the toughest games are Everton away, because
Yeah.
Everton, that's a local derby, and of course Spurs at home. It's going to be tough, and Aston Villa away. But I think these are all winnable games for Liverpool, and they've also had a good record at Everton under Jurgen Klopp. So I expect Liverpool to win at least 5 of those games.
All right, because the other run-ins for the other teams. Good work, guys, in the production room. Those are the
So
final
Arsenal
7
has Villa next.
games. All
Wolves,
right, see there. Yeah, man, my production team
Wolves,
at work.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
Spurs. So again, away at Man United, away at Spurs. It's not home. It's away at Spurs.
But it's away
And,
to Spurs.
right.
April 28th. It's my birthday.
So I think those 2 games are extremely difficult.
The Chelsea game and the Spurs game.
For Arsenal. No, the Man United away
Yeah.
and Spurs away.
But Arsenal clearly, to me, have the more difficult fixtures. When
They
you
do,
have-
but in terms of-
as Bramblers Man U is this season. But when you have Man U, Chelsea, and Spurs still to play.
and also Wolves.
And also
it
Wolves.
also depends on what Wolves turn up on the day, because Wolves can be very difficult and then they can be very flat.
Right.
So you know what you're gonna get. But away at those 2 grounds, White Hart Lane, Tottenham is doing very well now, and Man United is unpredictable as well. You know, and they will want to have a say in the title race against both. Well, they have a say against Liverpool, and they would want to have a say against Arsenal as well.
So that is the runner for Arsenal. So we've seen Liverpool's run-in. We've seen Arsenal's. Let's see now City's final 7 games. Here they are.
Luton, Brighton.
City are going to beat up Luton. 8 love. Brighton, I think about 3.
The toughest games
Nottingham
on
Forest,
those
I get
are
2.
Brighton and Fulham. I think Fulham has done very, very well against teams in the top 6 this season.
Yeah.
So it can be a tricky game for City. But again, if there's any team that has shown in the past 2-3 they can win 7-10 games on the trot, it's Man City. So I think based on the opposition plus the know-how, I think Liverpool and City, particularly City, are in way much better position than Arsenal.
The Spurs game away to be announced. So what's the story there?
Well, City has always struggled under Guardiola to win at White Hart Lane. Well, then White Hart Lane, no.
No, I'm asking why isn't there a definite date on when that might
So that, I think, was a League Cup game, and it was pushed back. So there's no date. So
when you look on that as a City man, we're not going to beat everybody for 3 love.
No, it's not so easy. Away at Spurs, very difficult. And then if that then comes on the back of a Champions League game, it can also be tricky.
Right, so the standings as we look at it. Arsenal, as we say, with Liverpool, 71 points each. With Arsenal, clearly the team with a better goal difference. City right there, just a point behind. Never seen a Premier League this close.
I think what is going well for Arsenal now is how good they are defensively in the Premier League.
Yeah.
They're not giving anything away, and they look very, very solid. And I think the platform with Jorginho and Declan Rice in front of Saliba and Gabriel, they've been really,
Declan Rice has
good.
brought some.
I think Declan Rice in this present moment, if Arsenal goes on and win the league, undoubtedly will be the sign of the season.
Aston Villa and let's sit at the table again. We're Aston Villa and Spurs. At one point in the season, Aston Villa were, clearly ahead of Spurs for that fourth spot. But as we see there, Spurs, I think ahead on goal difference ahead of Aston Villa. How will that the fourth place spot be?
Well, I expect Tottenham to hold on to that spot.
And Aston Villa
hasn't been consistent. But based on what's happening, fifth place could give you Champions League football. So, So they could be okay there.
Yeah.
But I think given the form, given that Bentancur is coming back into form, and so I expect Tottenham to be a lot stronger going forward.
All right, so if you had to call it now, based on the run-ins, based on what teams have to do, based on what we saw in the Champions League today, City scored 3, although we can't see 3. And then we saw Arsenal also doing very well. What did we learn?
Which team is your team, Liverpool or City?
City this year. City this year. I don't know what it might be next year because City fan for now. But based on what we saw in the Champions League today, from City, from Arsenal, didn't see Liverpool because that game is against Atalanta. That's Europa. Welcome back to the final few minutes of Football GPS. Told you Santos is celebrating their 60th anniversary. We have Carlton Spanner Dennis and Trevor Nairn, Vice President and President. The floor is yours, gentlemen. What will happen?
All right.
Starting with you, Spanner.
Just want to say good evening to your listeners and viewers. All right, Santos Football Club celebrates 60 year on the 16th of April. But we started from the 13th. So we'll have a dinner and award ceremony at Terra Nova on the 13th.
13th is which day?
Saturday.
Saturday.
And Sunday the 14th, we have a church service, Christ Church in Vineyard at 8 o'clock. After that, we leave for Morris in Clarendon Park to Lime and have some food and drinks. And
that's on the Sunday?
On the Sunday the 14th. Right. And Tuesday, the 16th, which is the day of the anniversary, we will play Boys Town in a championship game down at Belchong. Before that, the Master League team will have a little kick around. And
right. So that game with Santos Boys Town is
championship in Kasava, the Kasava League game.
What age group? Or is
big man.
The big one.
Kasava championship game.
All right. So what do you want to add, Mr. Nairn?
No, I mean, well, first of all, Santos is about time we show who we really are, right?
Yes.
Most important club in Jamaica history.
If I were a Santos man, I'd say the same thing as well. Big up your club, man.
Yeah, man, but it's an opportunity to show that we're going in new direction, right? Of course, we support Mr. Dennis because we've been there for over 30 years with him. And Mr. Dennis coached me from I was a little boy, all the way up, you know?
Yes, indeed.
So we want to support Santos and
when we was a little boy, those Santos we used to hear about.
Exactly.
What's the importance of people recognizing the importance of Santos as a football club?
Well, you have to know the history of Santos to know what it's all about.
Yes.
There's a lot of people in this country that Santos actually were their parents. From Chongfa to Jackie Bell to Vernon Bell to myself, who school people, send people to school. We take from Peter and give to Paul. Yes. So you have to know the history. There's a young man named Carl Daddy Grant, that the club is Dr. Grant, who live in London. And there are many more people. This club has worked wonders for the youth of this country.
Right.
So we're just trying to get the flame going again.
If people want to be a part of the dinner, you said the dinner is Saturday at which the
Terra Nova.
At Terra Nova. What time?
6:30. Cocktails start 6:30.
How much will it cost for people once?
$15,000. Is that fundraiser?
Right.
$15,000 per person.
And 15 grand. Where can they register?
Well,
My number is 383-6593. And his number.
No.
You know I give you a number.
No, Spanner said number. Spanner said
Everybody have my number.
383
6593.
6593. 383 6593. Spanner said call him.
You can come to the club any afternoon, anytime after 2:30. I'm there.
Any other social?
You can contact the CASAFA and we can sort things out there.
For your what you call it now? Your to book. Can people just turn up and pay for them?
No, you can't just turn up and pay. You need to do that before. I mean, and we almost have a full house already. Yeah. But
we still can cater.
We can cater for a few more.
Santos has a long history of producing Woolipa baller from way back. How many of them will be here, if any?
We are trying to honor about 10 to 12 players.
Yes.
Legend players. You have people like Winston Carty who play on 5 National League team.
Okay.
Right? You have
5 winning National League. There's a difference there. There's a difference.
You have Bob Campbell, you have Holland Cole, you have Fitzroy Wagstaff.
All of them will be there.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping that everybody will be there.
That is Tuesday.
That is Saturday. So it's an awards and dinner.
Oh,
awards and dinner.
So me not about the ball game.
No, the ball game going to be we'll have a competitive game, but before that we'll have an invitational
and this
Masters
is going to be
League thing at Santos.
Belgium. We have to leave it here. I wish I did have the time to tell you a story about the first time Mr. Spanner Dennis. I'm going to tell you the story quick. 30 seconds. Don't give me the time on a production. I've earned it. First interview that I've ever done at CVM. Here now just say, Higgins, go down to, I don't remember. Yes, an interview a man named, yes, Santos has placed somebody. And I went up and I said, sir, what's your name? I'm Orville Higgins from CVM, and I want to have a quick talk with you. Spanner Dennis said, you cannot interview me unless you know my name, boss. Spanner.
You didn't say what? You said what's your name again?
Yeah.
And I said,
the man refused to do the interview. So he's one name I can never ever forget in life.
But I did apologize to you about 25 years
after that. So you should have given me the interview, Spanner.
Thank you.
But good man, respect to dropping in. Sir Near. And people not turn out and support Santos. Especially now that I apologize as a little young rookie for not doing the interview with me. Thanks for dropping in. Santos deserve all the plaudits and all if you can support it. It's a worthy cause. All right, that's our program for this evening. Thanks to all the people who dropped by. Thanks to Headley and the crew for helping to put it together. The program is repeated tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. And of course, God's willing, we should be back next week to do it all over again. Until then, so long.